scared. And, you know,
Well,
we
this
can
is
make...
a security problem.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, we're talking, Drew, where's Bert?
Yeah, we can make rules. We can make rules no cell phones. We can make rules no visitors going into level D. But I think we should really consider having subletters have no guarantors. That we should.
No, wait a minute, let me interrupt you here. I want you to know that the application for a subletter is almost as long, we don't ask for as it is for a shareholder. And I'm perfectly aware of that. It is very extensive. Mary Frances, Iris, all of the people at Tudor Realty look very long and hard at it. We don't just allow anybody in here. And we certainly don't allow, for the most part, 20-year-olds are not coming in by themselves.
Well,
okay, but that's one. Two, security in the building is an issue, no matter whether it's shareholders or renters.
And cell phones are an issue too.
And we're not going to have, at least as far as I'm concerned, while I'm president, I like to have civility in this building, but not Gestapo. And frankly speaking, I don't want to have our guys having to go through correcting people because of what they are wearing or whether they're using a cell phone. I mean, if you find it upsetting, and I think you should, and I really do think you should, if you find it upsetting, and on occasion I have found myself on an elevator in which there are 4 persons and I'm the only one who isn't talking to somebody, and they're not talking to each other. So, you know, there's a lot more people in that elevator than anyone would think. But the fact of the matter is, if it bothers you, you can say something. But we have, if a renter, and in this way, renters are better than shareholders. If we have a renter who misbehaves and we get a complaint about that person, that renter will not have his or her lease renewed at the end of the year. We cannot do that to shareholders. Okay. So I believe that you will, if you have a problem, let us know about it, but I don't think we're going to have to be able to, you know, and maybe we have to make certain that the 40th Street entrance is supposed to ring and they're going to have to be let in.
Well, but let me just conclude. I do think, though, that we could make a rule, no cell phones on the elevators, because there are plenty of buildings who have that rule. We wouldn't be being Gestapo to have that rule. And second of all, I do think that even though you have a long application, having no guarantors
I had a
for
50-year-old woman
renters,
as my
just a
tenant
minute,
who had a guarantor.
having no guarantors for renters would be a good idea, and that's also very common in the real estate world. So I mean, I read the articles.
We will discuss it among ourselves. I'm only one person on the
Yeah.
board, and my vote, as I've been made to feel very often, is one vote. You had something to say,
Yeah.
and then you have something to say back there.
My tenant, when I first bought my apartment, I had a tenant in it at first, and it was a 50-year-old woman. She had a guarantor, just another woman who lived on Fifth Avenue, and she was in her 50s. I don't know how, you know, that would prevent someone like that from being in the building.
But I'm around that age too, and I have a boyfriend who's 55, and he would never walk into the D elevator, the D level, and say, well, I'm just going to go in here from now on because it's more convenient. He always goes past the doorman and he says hello.
But there are decent people and people who are not.
Okay, well,
and they
I'm
are
putting it out there as an idea for you to
I agree
consider.
on that, and that's what we're
okay?
here for, to listen, and I'm not, you know, if I'm sounding like I'm cutting you off, I'm sorry. But, no, this is what we're here to listen, and, you know, we do have shareholder board meetings, we have a lot of them. And we will discuss these ideas, and if people on the board feel equally about it, then, you know, that one or two of your suggestions may come to fruition. But I think I really do want to reassure the group that we don't just let renters in here willy-nilly, and if they do misbehave, they are refused to have a renewal at the end of the year. And I've had people come up to me and say to me, you know, I've lived here for 5 years and now you've failed to renew my lease, and I said, and the man was a bit bigger than I was, but I disregarded that. And I just said, yeah, but now, I don't know who you are, but you have become a problem, and I don't need problems. That's all. It's not personal. The business of the building is for us to live comfortably in quiet enjoyment, and anyone who disturbs that, if we can get them out, we will get them out. And if they don't, if we can't, we will have to do something else. But as far as renters are concerned, we can get them out a lot faster than we can get out anybody else. Yes, okay. Are you finished with this report? Oh, thank you. I was afraid. You never get to be able to.
I'd just like to,
Certainly.
since security has been mentioned, I think it's important for everybody, as we embark on the elevator renovation,
Yes.
security is tied into that. We'll be looking into how to upgrade security. So anybody over the next few months, if you feel insecure, if you think there's a security problem at all, please tell Bert, because now is the right time to tell him, so that security upgrades as the elevator project.
Or write to the board. We have a secretary and we do listen. We really do listen. Cindy?
Hi, Cindy Harris.
Cindy Harris?
This is a, just a security question. Oh, I recall these issues that we're talking about. The fingerprint system works on and off for a while, and then it breaks down. It's been broken down now for about a week. Do we have an update as to when the fingerprint system can be
The
reinstated?
system works, it's just the lock is broken. There's a jam.
There's no doorknob
We're
on it.
putting a new handle. We are putting,
Okay.
so that's the issue. We're gonna get a new
How
lock
does
put
it
in.
open? I have no idea how.
How what?
Does it still open? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
It opens, it's no.
And as a matter of personal, for those of you who might, if your fingerprint doesn't work, as mine frequently doesn't, the issue is cold. If your hands are cold,
Rub it.
it won't make a register. And
Or
I
hand
mean, if
cream.
this is a problem with you, and if you have cold hands as I do, a little bit of friction as you're coming up, it just makes a difference. That's for what I'm going back here. Yes, there's, right there? No, you asked first.
Yeah,
Yes.
just a quick question. I think the incentive idea is great, and I really do wish you luck, but I've only seen it communicated once.
What is this? I'm sorry, which idea?
The incentives, which I think is great, but I've only seen it communicated once. And I think in order to be successful, it needs to be communicated, because look at who showed up here. Of all the units owned, there's only this small percentage. So in order to get all the owners that do not live in the building, this needs to be communicated several rounds so that it hits every owner investor, should it be a thought in their heads, perhaps.
I think you're
So
absolutely
can we
right.
communicate that often? I mean, I don't care if I see it every month in the newsletter, like communicate it so we can
No,
make
I
our
think you're
building.
absolutely
We
correct.
will repeat it, and we also send even separate letters with the maintenance statements.
I've only seen it
Well, it
once.
just happened. This
Okay.
This just happened.
literally just was approved
And,
last month.
I think that there will be some allies in this process, because I think that you're gonna find that the brokers community will be using this to incentivize their customers, their clients.
But we
The
will
brokers.
continue to
I
remind.
mean, the interesting thing is that once a broker sells an apartment to someone, they tend to be the one who does the rentals, so they're gonna be the ones who are going to be passing along the news of this incentive, because obviously there's something in it for them.
Please identify
There's a lady
yourself
in
when you
back.
ask a question so we can
Just
know who
later.
you are.
Yes. Lady in back? Yes?
I work for the Korean
Your name?
government for nuclear power, and then I also have a real estate broker here. But I do paperwork a lot other Tudor City buildings, but my building, I never done that because I really wanted to get good tenant, but I couldn't. And then I know many real estate brokers said that pretty easy to get in here for the tenant. So, and even the Woodstock Tower, they do even the tenant also needed to be an interview.
Yes.
For 10
I know.
minutes at least.
Susan,
And then, and then I saw some smell sometimes in my floor. I live first floor, but some smoke smell, and I don't know where it's from. And then I think we need to do more strict paperwork and then strict everything, for our building.
Thank you, Susan.
All right, and again, if you have any noxious fumes or anybody who's, report it. There's no way that we can know everything. One person there, and then we're gonna keep on going so that we can end this as we promised.
Yeah, hi, Gilbert Gray, 1736. Just a point of clarification. Is the calculation for 50% based upon number of outstanding shares, or is that based upon number of
Units.
units?
Units.
No, it's shares.
See,
Is it shared?
It's shares.
did you calculate it both ways?
It's shares.
Have you tried both ways to see if we could convince?
It has very little impact. In fact, if you do it by shares, it's much more helpful because the penthouses, which have a huge number of shares, they're all owner occupied, or all except one. All except one. So they tend to pull us up. So it's much better that it be by shares. But yeah, we also look at it by shares and by units. It's interesting. Different banks look at different things.
Okay. All right.
I want to know if just the 18% was already voted, that they will be increasing very soon. This was just a resolution done, finished, or not yet?
Yes, it is voted by the board. It will be on your,
Okay,
it
so
will be on the November bill.
That worried me very much because I was thinking always to be here for the rest of my life and to be able, is I get old, to rent maybe one apartment while I still live here to help me out. And this worried me because it's so much. The 18% I think is a big number, and don't will keep the investors away, or nobody, because who has the money has the money. But I don't know, if someone in my